future long ago when our land was new. I helped build a country for me and you. I crossed a river in the snow. With my brave troops, forward we go. I'm George Washington, #1. First president, the job got done. I'm George Washington, yes, it's true. The first to lead the red, white, and blue. I led the army, strong and proud. I stood up tall when times were loud. Then I said 2 terms, that's right, and showed the world how to lead with might. I'm George Washington, #1. First president, the job got done. I'm George Washington, here to say we helped make the U.S. #1. That's me. Hi there, friends. I'm John Adams, president #2. After George was finished, the job came to me, it's true. Before I was president, I said we must be free. I helped our country stand up strong for independence, yes sirree. I'm John Adams, #2, helping lead, red, white, and blue. I'm John Adams, proud to say I helped the USA. I worked with leaders day and night to make our country stand. I spoke my mind and shared my thoughts to help guide this new land. And here's a little history fact, something cool to know. I was the very first president in the White House long ago. I'm John Adams, #2, helping lead, red, white, and blue. America was still brand new, and I helped lead it through. I'm Thomas Jefferson, President 3. In Daytona 1, they voted for me. I helped our country grow so wide with the Louisiana Purchase on our side. 3, President 3, helping America stretch from sea to sea. Writer, thinker, bold and free. That's Thomas Jefferson, that's me. I wrote about freedom long ago. In the Declaration you may know, all men are equal, brave and bright. Words that still shine like a light. I sent explorers out to see what wonders westward there could be. Lewis and Clark went on their way, mapping lands day by day. Here's something cool that few folks knew. I loved inventions and farming too. I spoke 6 languages, maybe more, and filled my house with books galore. When Washington's library burned one day, I sold my books to save the way. Thousands of pages, history too, to help our nation start anew. 3, President 3, dreaming big for you and me. Farmer, writer, bold and free. That's Thomas Jefferson, that's me. Yeah, I'm James Madison, #4 in line. I wasn't very tall, but my idea's divine. I studied governments day and night, trying to make our country work just right. When we needed rules that all could trust, a strong constitution was a must. So I took my pen and helped design the framework that still works just fine. I'm Madison, yes that's me, father of the Constitution, liberty. Bill of Rights, I wrote those too, protecting freedoms for me and you. Then came war in 1812, a brand new nation ringing the bell. The White House burned flames in the sky, but America didn't say goodbye. My wife I'm James Monroe, number 5, keeping this young nation alive. Born in Virginia, brave and strong, I fought for freedom when I was young. I crossed the Delaware by Washington side in the Revolution, full of pride. Wounded in battle, I still stood tall. I helped America through it all. I'm the last president from the founding crew, the final one who the revolution knew. They called my time the era of good feelings, unity rising, healing all dealings. I traveled the country north to south, shook every hand and opened my mouth. I wanted Americans to feel the same, one united country, not just a name. The Monroe Doctrine, hear me say, Europe, please stay out of our way. The Americas are not for new kings, no more colonies, no puppet strings. Florida joined the USA, we grew bigger in my day. 5 presidents from Virginia's line, I was the last of that powerful time. I'm James Monroe, remember me for growth and strength and unity. President 5, proud to be guarding young America's destiny. Come gather round, I'll tell you quick. I'm John Quincy Adams, President 6. Curious, thoughtful, eager to be, learned and leading shaped who I'd be. I'm the son of John Adams, that's true. He was president number 2. From father to son, the story runs to presidents, but we were 2 different ones. I love to read and love to write, studied languages day and night, Dutch and French and Latin too. There was always something new to pursue. At just 14, I sailed overseas, serving my country across the seas. I helped support the Monroe Doctrine, keeping our young nation strong within. When my presidency reached its close, did I retire? No, I chose to serve in Congress, brave and steady. For what was right, I stood up ready. I would not stay silent or small. Freedom belongs to one and all. I fought against slavery's wrong, spoke out brave and spoke out strong. Petitions raised, I would not hide. I stood for justice side by side, with courage firm and steady mix. That's President Adams, number 6. I'm John Quincy Adams, bold and wise, with big ideas and watchful eyes. Number 6 in history's mix. Remember my name, President 6. Hi there, friends, come sing with me. I'm Andrew Jackson, as you can see. 7th president, brave and tall. I lived in a log cabin, not a mansion at all. I was a soldier when I was young. In the Battle of New Orleans, victory was won. They called me Old Hickory, tough as a tree, strong and stubborn as I could be. I was the first from the frontier land, not born rich or with wealth in hand. I spoke for the common man, they'd say, and changed how campaigns were run that day. Big crowds cheered when I won the vote. My supporters even filled the White House note for note. Although I didn't always choose the best way through, I did the best I could with what I knew, with the tools and the times I was living through. I'm Andrew Jackson, number 7, a bold, loud leader, controversial yet driven. I'm Martin Van Buren, President 8, from Kinderhook, New York. York State, the first president born an American after freedom began. Yes, I was that man. I didn't speak English when I was small. Dutch was the language I first learned of all. I studied hard and worked my way through, from small town roots to red, white, and blue. I'm Martin Van Buren, number 8. Helped shape politics in a brand new state. Organized parties, built them strong. That's how campaigns would march along. They called me Little Magician, it's true, for the clever political work I do. I helped found the Democratic Party, planned with care and strategy. But times got tough, the banks all fell. The panic of 1837 not swell. I tried new plans to steady the land with an independent treasury plan. I'm Martin Van Buren, number 8. History shows both challenge and fate, from Dutch-speaking boy to the White House gate. That's President Van Buren, number 8. Come gather round, I'll tell you a tale. I'm William Henry Harrison without the fairy tale. I'm President 9, that's my place, a frontier general in the White House race. I earned my fame long years before at Tippecanoe in 1811's war. They called me Old Tippecanoe, a battle nickname people knew. I lived in a log cabin, yes it said, with campaign stories widely spread. Tippecanoe and Tyler too, that catchy slogan pulled us through. I gave the longest speech that day in March of 1841, hooray. No coat, no hat in the chilly air. I stood outside the Capitol there. But here's the fact that makes me stand: I served the shortest term in the land. Just 1 month long, can you believe? 31 days, then I had to leave. In April of 1841, my presidency was quickly done. The first to pass while in the role, that's part of my historical goal. From frontier days to number 9, I'm Harrison, history's timeline. My name is John Tyler, President 10. I took the job in a way rare back then. The president died while serving his term, so I stepped right up. That's how I confirm that when a president cannot go on, the vice president takes the role from then on. I'm John Tyler, number 10 in line, a history moment that helped define what happens next if the president's gone. The vice president carries on. I wasn't elected the usual way, but I showed the country how it should play. When President William Henry Harrison died, people weren't sure who should preside. Some said acting, but I disagreed. I'm the president now, was the rule I'd lead. I'm John Tyler, number 10 in line, setting a rule for all future time. When the president's gone, the job moves on. The vice president carries on. I was the first with that path to fame, and later a rule became a law by name. The 25th Amendment would say the same idea I showed that day. I'm John Tyler, President 10. History learned a lesson then. From one surprise, a rule was born. And that's how the system carries on. James Knox Polk from Tennessee, the 11th president, that's me. In 1845 I led the way with big plans stands for the USA. Poke, poke, work all day, set for goals and got my way. New land west and a lower tax, I kept my promises, just the facts. I added land from sea to sea. California joined the country. Texas too became a state. The nation grew, the map looked great. I made a deal with Britain Fair. Oregon's border, let's fix it there. The 49th line drew the line. Peaceful borders worked out fine. I said 4 years is all I'll stay. Worked hard every single day. No second term, I kept my word. A promise kept, how often heard? Poke, poke, strong and bold, expanded the country, story told. 11 presidents down the track, James K. Polk, and that's a fact. I'm Zachary Taylor, old rough and ready, a soldier and general, brave and steady. For 40 years in the army I stayed, serving my country wherever I was sent or paid. I fought in the Mexican-American War, winning big battles and becoming famous from shore to shore. People knew my name across the land, because I led my troops with a steady hand. I wasn't a politician, that's the truth. I spent my life as a soldier from my youth. But in 1848 the people chose me then to become president, the 12th one. I had no college degree and no office before, yet I went from the battlefield to the White House door. My presidency didn't last very long, just 16 months before I was gone. But history remembers me today as old, rough and ready, who led the way. Hello there, I'm Millet Fillmore, the 13th in the line. I became the president in 1850, right on time. I wasn't elected first, that's a little twist in lore. When President Taylor passed away, I stepped through the White House door. I loved books and learning, libraries were my dream. I helped start the first one in Washington, D.C. scene. Our country kept expanding, but times were tough, it's true. I signed the Compromise of 1850, trying to keep us from splitting in two. I once worked as a teacher and studied law at night. From a small town boy in New York to the presidency's big spotlight. So remember Fillmore, number 13, you see, a book-loving president in American history. My name is Franklin Pierce from New Hampshire snow, 14th president from long ago. I came to lead in 1853, a growing country looking to me. Before the White House and all the fame, a lawyer and senator was my name. I fought as a general in the Mexican-American War, then became president, number 14 once more. Franklin Pierce, number 14, leading in a changing scene. North and South could not agree, big debates across the country. I supported laws some people feared, like the Fugitive Slave Act signed that year. It said escaped slaves must be returned, and angry arguments quickly burned. Then Kansas and Nebraska joined the day, letting settlers choose their way. But people rushed in side by side. and Kansas filled with anger and divide. Franklin Pierce, number 14, in the middle of a stormy scene. Looking back through history's years, some choices I made brought doubts and tears. Some mistakes I made back then might not look so good today, my friends. That's part of history we explore. Franklin Pierce, number 14, once more. Number 15 in line. From Pennsylvania I stepped up in 1859. I worked in law and government, served my country far and wide as a diplomat and senator with American pride. Oh, I'm James Buchanan, the 15th you will see, a president remembered in American history. History praises them, sometimes it's a mistake. I'm the only president who never had a wife. My niece Harriet Lane helped run my White House life. She welcomed guests and hosted with elegance and grace, becoming a first lady figure in that famous place. But hard times faced the country and the nation felt the strain. Arguments on slavery were growing strong again. The Dred Scott decision and Kansas debates grew loud, and the Lecompton plan divided every crowd. 7 southern states seceded near the end of my term. Tensions kept on rising and the country grew concerned. Historians still debate the choices I had seen. That's the complicated story of number 15. Cabin in Kentucky, I read lots of books by the candlelight glow, learning new things everywhere I'd go. People called me Honest Abe, they knew it was true, because telling the truth was the right thing to do. I'm Abraham Lincoln, number 16 you see, leading the country so bravely and free. Through a great civil war I helped our nation stay, one united country that wouldn't break away. When states tried to leave and form their own side, I said the Union must stand strong with pride. As commander-in-chief I helped lead the fight, through hard early losses toward victory's light. I picked General Grant to lead the way, and the Union Army won the day. I'm Abraham Lincoln, number 16 you see, leading the country so bravely and free. Through a great civil war I helped our nation stay, one united country that wouldn't break away. On New Year's Day in 1863 I made a proclamation for all people to be free. The Emancipation Proclamation changed the war's aim, so freedom and justice became the game. At Gettysburg I spoke just a moment or two about equality and freedom shining through. I helped pass the 13th Amendment too, ending slavery across the nation through and through. I opened land for families with the Homestead Act, and helped build railroads across the map. New colleges grew from the land grant plan, and a national bank helped strengthen the land. Agreed. But soon after victory, sad news spread wide. For I was the first president assassinated in our nation's courage and fairness that helped light the way. A tall man in a stovepipe hat you might see, who helped make a freer country for you and for me. I was a tailor sewing coats each day. In Tennessee my little shop would stay. I didn't learn to read when I was small. I taught myself as a grown man. After all, I'm Andrew Johnson, number 17, part of America's history scene. When President Lincoln was suddenly gone, I took the oath and carried on. I was a Southern senator who said the Union must stay together instead. When my state chose to leave that day, I stood with the Union all the way. I'm Andrew Johnson, number 17, leading through a changing scene. Congress and I did not agree on how Reconstruction ought to be. I vetoed the Civil Rights Act they made and the Freedmen's Bureau help they gave. Radical Republicans said I was wrong, and the arguments grew loud and strong. Then in 1868 came a big debate, a law about who I could remove from state. They said I broke it, that was their claim, so the House impeached me and brought the blame. I'm Andrew Johnson, number 17, the first impeachment a president had seen. The Senate vote was close and tight. They acquitted me by just one vote that night. From a tailor's shop to history's page, I led the nation in a difficult age. My name is Ulysses S. Grant, a general dressed in blue. I helped the Union win the war and keep the country true. At Vicksburg and Appomattox, the fighting finally ceased when Robert E. Lee surrendered and the Long War was released. Hey, Ulysses S. Grant, number 18 in line, a soldier turned president in 1869. From the battlefield to the White House stand, marching through history, Ulysses S. Grant. I worked to guard the right to vote for every woman and man, protecting the 15th Amendment all across the land. The Civil Rights Act of 1875 helped freedom grow again, so equality could spread from towns to farms and cities then. Hey, Ulysses S. Grant, number 18 in line, a soldier turned president in 1869. From the battlefield to the White House stand, marching through history, Ulysses S. Grant. When the Ku Klux Klan spread fear across the South that night, I used the Enforcement Acts and troops to stop their might. Reconstruction helped the states return and join the nation's song, supporting democracy where all could still belong. I also helped protect the land with mountains, rivers, and sky. Yellowstone became a park for everyone to try, the first national park on earth where nature could expand, a treasure for the future of this wide and wondrous land. Hey, Ulysses S. Grant, number 18 in line, a soldier turned president in 1869. From the battlefield to the White House stand, marching through history, Ulysses S. Grant. Hey there friends, let me tell you my name, Rutherford B. Hayes, and the White House I claimed. In 1877 I took the lead, after one of the closest elections you'll ever see. I'm Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19 in line, leading our nation in a challenging time. Before I was president, I fought in the war endured. I was wounded in battle, but I stayed in the fight, standing for the Union and what I knew was right. I'm Rutherford B. Hayes, the 19th in line, leading our nation in a challenging time. My election was close, the votes were tight. A special deal helped settle the fight. I ended Reconstruction, brought troops back home, hoping the country could stand as one. Just one term in office, then I stepped away, back to Ohio, where I chose to stay. I'm Rutherford B. Hayes, remember my name, the 19th president in America's story and fame. La 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 la. My name is James A. Garfield. Come sing along with me. The 20th U.S. President in 1880. Born in a cabin in Ohio's trees, growing up with hard work and the country breeze. My father passed away when I was just 2, but I loved to read, there was so much to do. I worked on canals and studied each night, dreaming of a future shining bright. 17 years in the House, I served my land, helping guide the nation with a steady hand. During the Civil War, I helped lead the way, Chief of Staff to Rosecrans in the battle's fray. I was even chosen for the Senate seat, but the White House victory came before that feat. James A. Garfield, that's my name you see, from a log cabin boy to the presidency. I believed every citizen should have their say, voting rights for all in a fair way, and schools for everyone across the nation. Education for all was my inspiration, but my time was short in 1881. A tragic moment cut my work undone, though my presidency was brief in time. History still remembers this story of mine. My name's Kester A. Arthur, President 21. When Garfield passed away, my work had just begun. I took the oath of office and did my part to help the nation grow stronger and smart. Before the White House in New York, I worked with pride at the busy Customs House by the harbor side. Ships came sailing in from oceans far away, bringing goods and travelers almost every day. I helped build a navy strong out on the sea, modern steel warships for security, new ships sailing proud and far, strengthening America near and afar. I signed the Chinese Exclusion Act in 1882, banning Chinese labor immigration through and through. It was a law that shaped the time in history, part of America's very complicated story. Chester A. Arthur, number 21, working hard for changes that had just begun. From New York Harbor to the White House door, helping lead the nation, and so much more. My name is Grover Cleveland, with a mustache bold and wide. In 1885 I took the presidential ride. From Buffalo I came along, a lawyer known for truth, working hard for honest rules ever since my youth. I watched the nation spending and I checked each bill with care. If the money was not needed, I said we should not spend it there. Many vetoes from my pen showed the way I chose to lead, trying to keep the government focused on what we need. Grover Cleveland, that is my name, remember what I did. 22nd president, that is where my story lived. But history has a twist that makes my record stick. I came back again as president number 20. I left the White White House for a while, another man took the seat. But voters called me back again and gave me one more meet. In 1893, I returned to lead once more, the first president to serve 2 terms apart in lore. I even had a wedding in the White House, bright and grand, the only president to marry there in all the land. Francis Folsom stood with me, a historic day to see, Grover Cleveland's story in American history. I'm Benjamin Harrison, number 23, from Indiana's heartland, that's where I came to be. Grandpa was President 9, William Henry Harrison. A family in the White House, history carries on. I had a big white beard, standing proud and tall, gave speeches from my front porch so crowds could hear it all. Brought electricity to the White House for the very first light, helping lead the country into something new and bright. Hey, 23rd, I'm leading the way, making laws and changes that still matter today. From stopping big monopolies to growing states outright, Benjamin Harrison, shining bright. I signed the Sherman Act in 1890 to keep big business fair and competition clear. No giant monopolies taking over it all. I helped make sure the marketplace stayed fair and tall. 6 new states joined the Union while I led the way. North and South Dakota, Montana to that day. Washington, Idaho, Wyoming shining through, more than any term before, red, white, and blue. I stood for voting rights, made the 15th Amendment strong, said every voice should count and that's where we belong. Appointed Frederick Douglass to represent with pride as minister to Haiti, with honor as his guide. So when you count the presidents, don't skip me. I'm number 23 in history, from fairer laws to a stronger nation's might. Benjamin Harrison, shining bright. I'm William McKinley, 25. From Ohio roots I rose to lead and thrive. A Civil War soldier, brave and true. Then to the White House there was work to do. Spanish-American War, 1898. A swift big win that changed our fate. Philippines, Guam, Puerto Rico too, and Cuba gained independence new. I'm the 25th president, that's me, leading America across the sea, from victory to prosperity, shaping our nation's history. Hawaii joined in 1898, an island chain that would soon be great. By 1900, a territory strong, a Pacific home where it would belong. Open door policy, trade for all, with China's markets open tall. Boxer Rebellion, we took a stand, 5,000 troops to help that land. Used the telephone, spoke to the press, shared the news so people could guess less. Strength and power led the way in foreign affairs day by day. Number 25, remember me, William McKinley in history. Feeling small and weak, but I trained up strong every single week. Turned my struggles into might, built my body, learned to fight. Asthma tried to slow me down, but I stood tall, I held my ground. Hey, I'm Theodore Roosevelt, 26, I led so well. Full of grit and full of spark, I left a big and bold remark. I charged up San Juan Hill with pride, with rough riders by my side, cowboy hat and glasses on, riding forward at the dawn. From the west to DC halls, I answered duty's every call. Hey, hey, I'm Theodore Roosevelt, adventure's what I always felt. I spoke softly, big stick in hand, helped bring peace across the land. I saved the country, so wild and free, 230 40 million acres you see, 150 forest birds in flight, monuments shining bold and bright, game preserves and canyons grand, like the Grand Canyon protected land. Nature's future safe and strong, I made sure it would last long. I broke up trusts that got too big, northern securities down they did, made food safer, meat inspected right, pure food laws to protect your bite, railroads fair with rates controlled, standing up for young and old. Hey, I'm Theodore Roosevelt, a square deal's what I felt, workers, businesses side by side. Fairness was my constant guide, I helped end a war overseas, won a Nobel Prize for peace, built a canal to link the seas, sent my fleet across with ease. In a coal strike I took a stand, helped with the workers across the land, used my voice so loud and clear, the bully pulpit people hear, made the presidency take the lead, fighting for the nation's needs. Hey, I'm Theodore Roosevelt, a life of action I have felt, bold and brave in all I did, forever an adventure's kid. I'm William Taft, 27, hefty as president, yes, that's no legend. I love the law, wore suits so neat, once got stuck in a tub, not quite a feat. I didn't like to campaign or shout, I'd rather be a judge, no doubt. Taft, Taft, that is me, only president with a court degree. From the White House to Supreme Court seat, that's a record none can beat. I broke up trusts, kept business fair, followed rules with thoughtful care, built more roads so mail could flow, post office sack helped highways grow. Arizona, New Mexico too, joined the union, I saw it through. Worked with Roosevelt, then disagreed, politics can change with speed. Later on my dream came true, Chief Justice job I followed through. Only president, yes it's true, to lead the court the whole way through. Then in 1912, while I led the land, a giant ship set sail so grand, the Titanic sailed the ocean wide, but hit an iceberg in the night and cried a tragic end beneath the sea. Remember that in history, that's my story, now you see. I was born in Virginia, books in my hand, a teacher and a thinker with a big hopeful plan. I led Princeton University, then took a stand as President of the United States. I led the land, I'm the only president with a PhD, studying government and history. I passed an income tax so the nation could grow, and built the Federal Reserve to steady the flow, keeping banks stable, helping money be sure, building a system secure and pure. I'm Woodrow Wilson, number 28, leading through a time when the world faced fate, from war to peace. I tried to lead the way with big ideas that still matter today. I said we'd stay neutral when the war began, then led us into World War I with a plan. Mobilized troops and managed the fight, helped bring the conflict toward its end in sight. I helped write the Treaty of Versailles to end the war, shaping the peace they were hoping for. I dreamed of a league where nations unite, working together to keep peace in sight. That vision earned me a Nobel Prize for reaching cross borders, strong and wise. I backed women's votes so their voices were heard. The 19th Amendment, I supported that word. But I made choices that history still debates. Segregated offices across departments and states, and showed a film that spread harmful views. A part of my story we must not confuse. So learn from the good and the mistakes you see. A complicated leader in history. From progress to problems, my legacy stays. Woodrow Wilson, through tough times and days. Meet Warren Harding, number 29. From Ohio roots, I rose in time. A newspaper man with stories to tell. From small town print to the White House swell, I said, let's get back to normal days. After war and worry in so many ways, people were tired, I heard their call. Promised common peace for all. Hey, hey, Harding's here with a hopeful cheer, saying let's move forward, the future's near. From ink and press to leading the land, a different kind of president taking a stand. First to ride to my own inauguration in a car, what a modern sensation. Spoke on radio, reached far and wide. A brand new voice the people could hear with pride. Invited baseball champs to the White House lawn. Loved the game from dusk till dawn. And though my time was short, it's true, history remembers what I tried to do. Hey, Harding's name in the history line. 29th leader in his time. Not every story is perfect or clear, but every president leaves something here. Calvin Coolidge, quiet and calm, didn't talk much but I brought the charm. Born in Vermont in a small town way, led with few words but a lot to say. One night late the news came through, President Harding's time was through. By lantern light in my family home, my father swore me in history's own. Silent Cal, that was my name, led the nation not for fame. Roaring 20s, bright and loud, jazz and dancing, fun-loving crowd. Flappers danced in dresses that swayed, jazz bands played and records were made. Cities buzzed with cars and lights, movies, radios, dazzling nights. First tree lighting shining bright, White House lawn in Christmas light. 1923, a brand new cheer, a tradition we still hold dear. In 24, a change so great, citizenship across the states. Native Americans gained their right, a step toward justice in the fight. Immigration laws came to, quota set on who came through. Border Patrol began that year, changing how we welcomed here. Pro-business plans, government small, booming markets, wealth for all. I led without a fuss through a flashy age of jazz and gloss. I'm Herbert Hoover, 31, an engineer who got things done. I built and helped both far and wide, long before this presidential ride. I fed the world in times of need, sent out help with care and speed. I'm Hoover, Hoover, here to say I led America through the hardest days. When markets crashed and times got tough, I worked and worked till it was enough. The crash hit hard in 29, jobs disappeared, tough times no shine. Banks were closing, hope felt small. The Great Depression rocked us all. I tried new plans to make things right, but it was a long and difficult fight. I spoke Chinese, yes, it's true. Not many presidents can say that too. In 1931, I took a stand. I signed the law across the land, made it official, proud and grand. The Star-Spangled Banner is our anthem. I helped build a dam so strong and grand, Hoover Dam across the land. On the river, big and wide, power and water side by side. I'm Hoover, Hoover, strong and smart, with helping hands and a hopeful heart. From engineer to history's page, I led the nation through a stormy age. I'm Franklin Delano Roosevelt, FDR, 32nd president. I set the bar. Through the Great Depression, dark and gray, I brought the New Deal to light the way. Polio struck early on, but I still rolled through. From a wheelchair, I led strong and true. Jobs and hope, I helped rebuild, with programs strong and futures filled. Government grew to lend a hand, protecting workers across the land. In 1935, I made a way. Social Security's here to stay, helping seniors, the sick, the poor, a safety net forevermore. I helped make banks much safer too, with FDIC protecting you, and the SEC came into play to keep Wall Street fair every day. Then Pearl Harbor shook our shore, a day of infamy, we went to war. I led the US through World War II, with strength and teamwork tried and true. With Britain and Soviets side by side, at Yalta we planned and strategized. Together we stood, the Allied team, fighting for freedom and a brighter dream. I made tough choices in fearful times, like Japanese internment, part of history's lines. Executive Order 9066, a choice we regret and still remix. I helped start plans so nations unite, the United Nations for peace and right, to stop more wars and keep things fair, a global promise we all can share. Elected 4 times, yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, longer than any president before. From 1933 to 1945, I led with hope to help us thrive. And through it all, Eleanor stood strong right by my side, a voice for the people, with truth as her guide. She fought for the rights of every race, brought hope and justice to every place. She traveled far, she spoke out loud, lifted the lost and made us proud. A first lady who changed the role, she helped shape the heart of our nation's soul. From tough times to a world at peace, we worked so hope would never cease. Through every trial we changed the game, and history will forever remember our name. The Roosevelts. I'm Harry Truman from Missouri land. No fancy degree, just a steady hand. From a farmer's life to the White House chair, I stepped right up when the world was in despair. Vice President, then suddenly me, leading a nation through history. World War II had to come to an end, so I made a call no one could pretend. Atomic bombs helped stop the fight and brought that long war's end in sight. I'm Truman, I say the buck stops here. I faced big moments, didn't run in fear. From war to peace, I took a stand, did what I thought was best for the land. Then in Korea, trouble grew, North attacked, so just begun. A civil rights committee to make things fair for me and you. So when things feel hard and you don't know where, stand up strong. The buck stops here. I'm Dwight D. Eisenhower, call me Ike. A 5-star general you might like. From D-Day plans to guiding peace, I helped the world find some release. From war to calm, I took my stand to lead with strength across the land. I signed new laws for voting rights in 1957 and 1960 fights. First since Reconstruction days, to help make fairer voting ways. A civil rights commission to watch what's fair for me and you. And in Little Rock I took a stand, sent troops to help and make it land. I'm Ike, steady and strong, keeping peace the whole day long. From civil rights to space above, leading with strength and love. When Sputnik beeped up in the sky, I said, we've got to reach up high. So NASA launched in 1958 to explore space and innovate. Cold War times were tense and tough, but I stayed calm, I knew enough. Massive retaliation strong to keep the peace and move along. At Geneva talks in 1955, I led the way with atoms for peace. I'd proudly say, let's use our power for good, not fear, to build a brighter future here. From general stars to leading us, I did what I believed was true. I'm Ike, and here's what I'll say. Lead with strength, choose peace each day. I'm John F. Kennedy, call me JFK. A young glamorous president, leading the USA. First one born in the 20th century, a new generation's energy. Ask what you can do, I'd proudly say. Let's serve together and build a better day. I set a goal for all to see, to reach the moon before the decade's free. The space race soared, Apollo took flight. We reached the stars with courage and might. In 1962, a moment so tense, the Cuban Missile Crisis, high suspense. I stayed calm and chose the wiser way, avoiding nuclear war that day. In 1961, I had a plan. The Peace Corps helped across the land, sending volunteers far and wide to help the world with heart and pride. For civil rights, I took a stand, supporting justice across the land, laying groundwork for change to come. A better future had begun. Not every moment went just right. The Bay of Pigs was a tough fight. I took the blame, stood up tall. A leader learns from every fall. My time was short, though dreams stayed alive. November 22nd, 1963, my legacy survives. A loss of innocence felt that day, shook trust and changed the nation's echoes in what I gave, a call to serve, be strong and brave. They called it Camelot, shining bright, hope and vision in that light. With my Jackie Kennedy by my side, she shaped the story the world would know, with art and history, grace and glow. So hear my words, let them ring true. Your country's future depends on you. From sea to stars, from then to now, we build tomorrow, starting now. I'm Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ they say. From Texas hills I made my way. In 1963 I stood to lead my country as I should. After the tragedy of Kennedy, I passed a law for equal ground, where fairness for all could be found. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 declared no bias in jobs or places shared. Then voting rights rang loud and clear. In 65, a hopeful year, the Voting Rights Act of 1965 made it right. No test to block your voice or fight. Home should be fair for all to choose. No one denied, no one refused. The Fair Housing Act of 1968 made it so. A place to live, to thrive, to grow. I chose great minds to help us see, like Thurgood Marshall in 1963. The first African American to serve on the highest court, for justice strong, a bold support. I helped bring learning to your home, with shows and stories as they roam. The Corporation for Public Broadcasting came alive as PBS and NPR thrived. For safer roads and cars each day, I made new rules to guide the way, with transport plans and safety facts, protecting lives with careful acts. I gave care to the old and poor, so they could feel safe and secure. Medicare and Medicaid too brought helping hands to me and you. My great society aimed high to lift folks up and reach the sky. But war in Vietnam cast a shadow wide, a heavy weight I could not hide. Still I tried to shape the day, in every law, in every way. I'm LBJ, remember me, the great builder of possibilities. I'm Richard Nixon, number 37. From California roots to leading the nation, I worked my way up, step by step, all the way to the Oval Office desk. In 1972, I made a way. Open China changed the play, ended years of distance and divide, shifted the Cold War's turning tide. I worked to end the Vietnam War, bringing troops back home once more. I helped protect Clean Air Act to clear the day. Endangered species got protection too, helping the planet for me and you. I helped schools change across the land. Desegregation took a stand. In the South, progress was made. A more equal path began to be paved. But not all chapters end in cheer. There were mistakes that brought me here. Watergate changed my story's end, a lesson I could not defend. I stepped down, yes, I chose to go, the only president to do so. I'm Richard Nixon, history's mix of major moves and tough conflicts. From global change to lessons learned, stories remembered, pages turned. So learn it all, both right and wrong. That's how we grow. That's why this song. I'm Gerald Ford, number 38. I became president in a different way. Not elected VP or president too, but I still stepped up to lead for you. I took the oath when Nixon resigned, a peaceful transfer, one of a kind. I pardoned him to help us heal, though some folks questioned how to feel. I'm Ford, that's my name. I played a very different game. No election win to reach this seat, but I still stood strong on my own 2 feet. I honor history, that must be known. Black History Month I helped make widely known, a national moment to celebrate important voices that shaped our state. I love to play football back in the day. At Michigan I helped lead the way, one of the few who never ran for president first. That was my plan. From tough times came a brand new start. I lead with honesty and heart. So now you know my story too, a different path but strong and true. I'm Jimmy Carter from Georgia land, a peanut farmer with a careful hand. Before the White House, I worked the soil, then served my country with heart and toil. I was a sailor in the Navy fleet, working with reactors, quiet and neat. Nuclear training deep below, learning things few folks would know. In 1978, I helped bring peace. The Camp David Accords didn't come easy. With Anwar Sadat and Menachem Begin by my side, we found a way to bridge the divide. After my time in the Oval Room, I didn't stop, I didn't assume. I built up homes with my own 2 hands, helping families across the lands. In 2002, the world could see a Nobel Peace Prize came to me for years of work to make things right, finding peaceful paths instead of fight. I taught in church, stayed kind and true, lived a life that I believe through. From fields of peanuts to world renown, I wore humility like a crown. I'm Ronald Reagan, number 40 in line. From Hollywood lights to a White House shine. I was an actor, telling stories on screen. Then I led a nation with a brand new dream. They called me the great communicator, you see. wall. I cut some taxes, tried something new. Reaganomics is what people knew. Some folks cheered, some disagreed on how it helped the country succeed. Some said my policies changed the divide between the poor and the wealthy side. And I was criticized in those days too for how AIDS was handled. It's part of the view. I love jelly beans, a simple treat, kept them right by my seat. Through every challenge, big or small, I tried to stand strong through it all. So remember me when you learn it all, from movie star to a leader's call, a voice of hope in a changing time. Your 40th president in rhythm and rhyme. I'm George H.W. Bush, number 41. Before I led the nation, I'd already done a ton. I served in World War II, flew high above the sea, a Navy pilot earning honors for bravery. I got the Flying Cross for courage in the sky, learning how to lead and always aim high. CIA director, helped keep our country safe, ambassador to the UN, working face to face, vice president with Reagan, learning what to do, serving people proudly, tried and true. I'm 41, I led the way, with steady hands, day by day. I helped end the Cold War peacefully, as the Soviet Union changed history. Germany united, strong and free, that took careful diplomacy. In Desert Storm, we stood upright, 30 nations joined the fight. We freed Kuwait in 91, together strong, the job was done. From ocean skies to history's page, I served my country at every stage. 1,000 points of light so bright, people helping people, that's true might. I'm 41, proud to serve, did my duty with heart and nerve. From war to peace, from sky to land, I gave my all to help us stand. I'm Bill Clinton, number 42, from Arkansas land, a small town kid with big time plans. I played my sax, yeah, I love that sound. First president to rock late night around. I helped our country's money grow, balance the budget, watch it go. First big surplus in years, that's true. Cut the debt down by billions too. From 98 to 2000, see, 363 billion down. That's history. Not every president can say they knew how to turn red ink into something new. I helped create over 20 million jobs. People went to work all across the map. Unemployment dropped way down low, lowest in decades, watch it go. I worked on trade with nations near, signed NAFTA to connect us here. New free trade deals across the land, building partnerships hand in hand. Feel that rhythm, hear that tune, playing my sax under the spotlight moon. That's a fun little piece of history. Now I'll be honest, I wasn't perfect, no. I made some choices that hurt my home. I learned that actions really matter, it's true. And growing from mistakes is what we all must do. Hillary stood strong right by my side. She worked for change with strength and pride. She helped redefine what a first lady can be, one of the most powerful in history. So when you learn of presidents past, remember the changes that can last. From Hope, Arkansas to a world so wide, I gave it my all with heart and pride. I'm George W. Bush, number 43. From Texas roots, that's home to me. My dad was president too, you see. George H.W. Bush, family legacy. I went to Yale University, then Harvard Business School. Only president with an MBA. Pretty cool, right? I owned the Rangers, cheered with pride, then led Texas as governor before the ride. Then came a day we all recall, September 11, attack shook us all. I led the war on terror strong, to keep our country safe and moving along. We went to Iraq, troops on the ground, big decisions that echoed around. At home, tough times came into view, a deep recession that many went through. Subprime mortgages played a part, hurting homes and breaking hearts. And when Katrina hit the shore, folks wanted faster help and more. I'll be honest, I wasn't perfect, it's true. A lot disagreed with things I do. Not the sharpest tool in the shed, they'd say, but I did my best every single day. One time overseas, during a speech, a flying shoe came within reach. I ducked real quick, missed me that day. Sometimes history's a little wild that way. After it all, I found new art, painting portraits from the heart. From baseball fields to leading the land, I gave it my all, the best I can. I'm Barack Obama, number 44. From Hawaii's waves to the White House door, I said yes we can, yeah I meant those words. Gave a voice to the people who needed to be heard. Back in 2004, I stepped into the light. In Boston I spoke and I rose overnight. The audacity of hope, that's what I shared. And suddenly people everywhere cared. Before all that, Chicago was my start, helping local communities do their part. Then I studied the law to see it through, how the system works and what it should do. At 28, I stepped into view, first black president of Harvard Law Review, chosen to lead a historical breakthrough after centuries, something long overdue. 2008, the world was watching me, tears in the crowd like history set free. First black president, something we could all feel, a moment so big it didn't even seem real. But real problems waited and the road got tough, so I rolled up my sleeves and said we'll rise above. When markets fell and the crisis grew, we pushed bold action to see it through. The American Recovery Act was the plan, creating jobs and helping America stand. Healthcare changed so that millions more could get the help they needed before. Pre-existing conditions covered, yes indeed, and Medicaid grew for all those in need. Around the world I reached for peace, tried to make long-standing conflicts cease. From Iran talks to Cuba ties, and climate plans to help Earth rise. A quiet call in the dead of night, one mission sent, one target in sight. Osama bin Laden, justice came for every life lost in his name. In 2009, a prize came through, a Nobel Peace Prize for what I do for hope and diplomacy, a global view of what united people can pursue. By my side was Michelle, strong and bright, with Malia and Sasha growing in the White House light. A family of love through each long fight, showing the world what hope looks like. Online I reached the world near and far, first black U.S. president and a digital star, a symbol of change in who we are. So dream big dreams, let your hope expand, because change begins when you rise and stand. I'm Donald Trump from Queens, New York. Built big towers, that was my work. From business deals to TV fame, the whole wide world learned my name. I'm the apprentice you heard me say, you're fired. At the end of the day, then I ran for president, bold and loud, spoke my mind to a different crowd. In 2016, I won that race, became the 45th in that place, then came back again to lead once more, the 47th like never before. In the cold and flurs of January 6th day, my legions marched to keep the end at bay. I spoke of a victory stolen, of a country to reclaim, so they stormed the halls of power in the glory of my name. Make America great again, I'd say that slogan followed me every day. I focused on borders strong and tight, and keeping the country safe at night. I worked on a wall at the southern line to strengthen borders and draw that line, and I gave ICE a bigger role as part of my immigration goal. More funding, agents expanded might, policies strict day and night. Deportation plans were part of my aim, a major part of my time in the game. Online I shared my voice, speaking direct, that was my choice. A brand new way to lead and connect, a style people still discuss and reflect. And then I got a call from a friend afar to settle the score for old Zion's star, to shield the star of David's light. I march across Persian sands with American might. I was impeached, yes, not just once but twice, something rare at a high price. A historic path, both praised and debated, a presidency widely discussed and evaluated. I also focused on jobs and trade, cut regulations businesses face, energy growth and economic plans, all part of how I led the land. Then a virus spread across the land, COVID changed each life and plan. We worked on vaccines fast and strong, a time of challenge hard and long, with family close, always in sight, my daughter Ivanka Trump by my side. Through every challenge, day or night, they were my strength and my pride. From New York streets to history's page, I left my mark on the world stage. Love me or hate me, you can't ignore, mine is a presidency unlike ever before. I'm Joe Biden, number 46, from Scranton town to leading politics. I took took the oath in a challenging time, but I rolled up my sleeves, got right in line. When COVID hit and times got tough, we worked together, stayed strong enough. Got vaccines out, helped people through, made plans to protect me and you, and sent out checks, yes, $1,400 to help families feel secure once more. A little boost when times were tight, to help folks make it through the night. I made history, proud and true, with judges that reflect me and you. Ketanji Brown Jackson joined the court, a brand new day. First black woman to lead the way. Confirmed more judges, diverse and bright, bringing new voices into the light. Different stories, different views, helping shape fair laws for me and you. I was VP 4 years before, with Barack Obama opening doors. Now I lead with hope and care, building a future we all can share. So sing along, let's keep it strong, helping each other all along. From past to future we can see together.